In our last video, we got all of this foam down. We were hoping to make it a little bit farther, but between monsoon season and all the rain and thunderstorms that came through every afternoon and kind of having to level our pad again, we didn't quite make as much progress as we had hoped. But we got the foam in and now we're ready to move on.
Now we're getting on to the PEX pipe. So this giant black wagon wheel thing here is 1,000 feet of 1/2-inch PEX that we are going to run for our in-floor heating. That is today's task, as well as probably getting the rebar going too. And maybe even, dare I say it?
I don't know.
Putting the forms up. She doesn't know. But we need to keep cranking this out because we do have a deadline to meet. We already have concrete scheduled.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and start unrolling this thing, huh?
Yep.
We've got our staples that we're going to use to staple the PEX to the foam. These are actually used in like a staple gun, but we don't have it. We don't need one. We're only building one house. So we're going to put them in by hand. I've got 900 of them. And something really important that I was hoping this PEX had marked on it, and that is the footages, or the footage. So every 2 feet it is actually marked. It starts out at 1,000 feet here. Super awesome, because when you're doing your in-floor heating, you don't want to go over 300 feet in a run. So that's good. We can keep track of how long the circuits are. You ready, Kenzie?
Yeah.
Kenzie, you're gonna help me run this out down the road, just to help get all the twists and turns out of it, okay? So just start hiking that way. And if the pipe wants to turn on you, let it turn, okay?
Okay.
You want to turn the corner like that. Okay, can you hold that PEX pipe right there? Let's see, let's just go back a little bit. I don't know, it might be hard for you. All right, you want to do the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, come over here. Put it right here. Yeah. Try to push each side in evenly. Straight up and over. It is kind of hard, huh?
Wait, this should be also pretty well.
Yeah, it should. Try another one? Come straight. There you go. Give me some staples, please.
But I will be back.
You check on us, make sure we're staying focused.
Yeah, if you're not here. No.
That's 2 circuits, 4 more to go. Making progress.
We got the second 1,000 foot roll of PEX out. We've got 162 feet left on this roll, which is not enough to do a circuit. So we got to open up this one. So far we've got 3 circuits, and you can see that we skipped over going over the footers because there's no foam there. And we also skipped going over the root cellar. You don't really want your root cellar to be warm, you want it to be on the cooler side. Plus the pantry is right above that, and you really don't want to heat your pantry either. So that's the reason why there's no PEX over there, and it's gonna stay that way. So 3 circuits down, 3 to go. One-day job, you know?
Yeah, I like it. Seems so, you know, at the end of it, like, looks so weird when it's done.
It looks crazy, like red tubes everywhere.
Yep.
To finish up the PEX, I've got to get all these lines here tied together, and what I'm going to do is take these 3/4 inch electrical PVC 90s, screw them all to that 2x4, and then shove all 12 of these PEX pipes through those 90s. Basically, what those are going to do is protect it during the pour. I'll put some spray foam in the ends of them once everything is in its place. And then we're going to pressure test it. We're going to tie all the tubes together, put air on them, and pressure test all of the in-floor heating to make sure there are no leaks. Alright, so I'm ready to tie these all together, but I ran into an issue and realized I did not get enough fittings to tie these together the way I had in my mind. The number I went with to the store was 6 in my head, when really it should have been 12. We have 6 circuits, but we have 12 pipes. There's still a way I can get these all connected without having to run back to the store. It's just not going to look pretty. It's gonna look like spaghetti. So here we go. Oh, this is gonna go here. Oh, these are cool fittings. They have these little prong deals that keep you from sliding the
I see it.
crimp too far, which you're supposed to have it about right there, like 1/8 of an inch. I like that.
Look at you saving money. Buying only
I guess so.
a handful of teas and...
I could not believe how much
paid.
I spent on fittings for this. It was like 65 bucks for the, well, of course I got about a big thing of crimp rings, but I only got like 7 fittings.
Right.
It's crazy, guys.
So this is great. You saved money by
Yeah, I guess so, you know.
getting creative instead.
Right? So I've got 5 of these T's, just to kind of explain how am I going to get air through the entire system. These 2 pipes right here are on the outside down here, those are our one circuit. One of them will push water out and water will come back on the other one, right? Except we're gonna test it with air. So that circuit's connected, but also it's connected to the next circuit, which you can imagine the pattern, you know, I just keep going with T's like this and it'll feed air all the way to the end, the last one, where I'll have the gauge hooked up where I'll put the air through. What do you think? Is it going to hold pressure? Are we gonna have 0 leaks?
Absolutely.
You think so?
I think so.
What about you guys? Some of you know our history
With leaks?
with leaks.
Those are water leaks.
I'm gonna
This is
go
air.
with no leaks. If there's a leak though, I blame it on whoever delivered it, right? Here we go. Going up. 40. 5 more. Do you hear something?
Yep. Right there.
Oh, come on.
Ah.
I was wrong. Oh, whoa.
That grip didn't hold.
At least it was at the fitting. I mean, not.
Yep.
I mean, I could start to hear it. I'm like, you hear something?
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
Now what?
I'll get back to you on that. Okay. That's 30 psi. All right, so I just put pressure back on the pipe. I put 30 psi. I didn't take it up to 45 like I did yesterday when it blew up. Sorry if that startled anybody. That was not the intention. I don't quite understand what happened. The only thing I found that perhaps I did not do correctly was all the crimps. Everything is crimped too tightly, and I did not check them with this gauge here to make sure they were just right. Apparently you cannot have them too loose or too tight. They have to be just right. And this little gauge here, it's called a go, no-go gauge. This tells me whether I have it right or wrong. And they're wrong. So instead of going through, changing them all out and putting 45 psi back on there, I put the one back together. I did adjust my crimp tool so that it doesn't crimp them, so it's not over crimping them. And I decided to just put 30 psi, and it's holding just fine so far for a few minutes that it has been. And I really don't care about the fittings right now because this is temporary. I just want to know if all the PEX out there is good. Make sure there's no leaks out there. I think 30 psi is good enough. If I remember right, the in-floor heating systems typically don't have more than 30 psi on them anyway. It's not like a regular water pipe where it has 60 psi on it. It's holding so far. We'll keep an eye on it. And in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get this all up and tied up with this. Spray foam the 90s there, and then I can go ahead and start finishing the rebar. And then forms. And then concrete. Looks good still. Okay guys, I forgot to mention a couple things about all the tubing here and about the madness that you see on the ground. It is actually organized chaos, madness. So we mentioned that we have 6 circuits. And we've broken those 6 circuits up into 2 zones. One zone is 3 circuits, the other zone's the other 3. So zone 1 is over here. We got kitchen, dining room, living room area. It comes down the hallway, and it also feeds the laundry room right here. That is one zone. The other zone is the bedroom that Natalie's standing in, the 2 bathrooms, and the master bedroom. That's zone 2. So what that means is we can have 2 different thermostats controlling each zone at different temperatures. We probably are going to want the bedroom and bathrooms areas to be a little bit warmer, especially at night. And out here, maybe not as warm, and sometimes maybe even off. We might even have that off and just focus all the heat on zone 1. So that's the cool thing about this, you know. One thermostat doesn't determine the entire house, but instead it could be 2 thermostats that determine that side of the house and this side of the house. So also our tubing is 10 inches spaced apart. I don't think we ever said that. Typically it's 12-inch spacing. We went with 10-inch spacing. Okay, that's what I didn't want to forget. Now I can go ahead and get started on rebar. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Why don't you pull one of those out of there?
Okay.
Right there, Eli. Keep going, Kenzie. Right there. A little wonky looking, but Eli dropped some of
Looks like the rebar's coming along.
yeah, this is going, it's going a lot quicker than the footers.
Yeah, definitely.
So far I haven't had to bend any of them. And you know what has made it really easy? My little rod busters. Eli and Mackenzie, I had them laying them out, and then I just stayed here and tie wired them all.
Right? They've been good little helpers.
Yeah, it's been awesome. But I'm out of rebar. And I'm out of rebar chairs.
And
Yep.
it's the weekend. So
And
they're
it's
closed.
the weekend, so I can't pick any up. And well, I've got a few left here to do before I have to stop. But that's okay. We're gonna roll right into putting the form boards up around. I think that'll be a little more exciting. Is that the word?
I thought you were going to go challenging.
It will
It's
be
gonna a little
challenging.
tricky.
Yeah, those got to be straight, level, secure. But I'm excited to do that part because we're that close to cement.
We are
Little
getting there.
more rebar, form boards, and then cement.
Oh,
Well,
we're so close.
I know.
This is exciting.
Yeah. Eli and Mackenzie, they're funny. They keep telling me, yeah, we want to help because we want our house to be built. I'm like, that's the spirit.
Yeah.
That is so bowed.
Oh no.
Some serious crown on that. Let's see what the next one looks like. Much better.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay, here's the situation, which I kind of expected this. Over here, we've got our first board mocked up, and it's a little high all the way across, and the footer is not completely level. We have a high spot here, which is part of the problem of why it's so high. Actually, the footer is the problem. Now, when we did these, it was just me, Nat, and the 4 kids, and man, it went so fast. We didn't have time to smooth this out perfectly, but we got it kind of within range with the transit. So I kind of figured there's going to be a little bit extra cutting on the form boards and a little bit of grinding or cutting on the footers. So right off the bat, we're gonna do that. So I got the table saw. I'm gonna rip this down just a 1/2 inch, and then also I'm gonna work at the concrete there to bring it down so that this can go in nice and neat. And the way we're gonna anchor these is I'm gonna hammer drill holes, 5/8 inch holes for 1/2 inch rebar. That's gonna go in the holes. Then we're gonna 1-hole strap those pieces of rebar to the footers. And then once we're that far all the way around, I'll put some extra bracing or supports in. It's gonna be a little bit of work, but if you guys know us, we're not scared. And at the same time, I am admitting a little mistake here, so that's okay.
Have we mentioned we've never built a house before?
I don't remember.
This is our first time building a house, and we're gonna learn from our mistakes.
You know what?
And yes, we're going to make them.
There's gonna be mistakes, but we're gonna work through them.
Yep.
You know? And I hope you guys stick around to see how we work through our mistakes. That this isn't gonna be perfect, but it is gonna look great.
The end result is
The end result is gonna look great. So, I'm confident in that. All right, let's rip this down. be able to balance yourself. Oh, you don't need to go too far, huh? Right there, you got it?
Yep.
Okay. So we got our first side of the form boards in. This side is all done. It actually went pretty good. You know, there was a couple spots where I had to grind down the footer in the high spots to get the board to sit flat. And that first board, that was the only one we had to rip down with the table saw. The other ones were okay. That just must be a high side over there. So there are some little gaps that the concrete can kind of leak out underneath the board. That's not a big deal. I'll come and screw some wood to the outside so that it doesn't all escape. Anyway, it's going good. It's looking great. It's really straight. And we're actually gonna stop on the forms and jump back onto rebar. I got some more rebar today and we want to finish all that up. Then we'll get back on the forms. So it's a little back and forth, but we need to get the rebar done. And that's kind of important for the inspection coming up in a couple days. So, you ready to throw some rebar down?
Oh yeah, let's finish it up. We're almost there.
Rebar, it actually goes pretty quick, yeah. So.
No bends, so.
Yep, it's all straight stuff. all of the rebar is done. About took half the day to finish it all up. We've got most of it 2 foot by 2 foot squares throughout pretty much all of it, except for the root cellar. We went with 1 foot squares, and also you might have noticed we were putting some bigger rebar in over the root cellar. We were putting 3/4 inch rebar over there, and I welded it to the elevator opening all the way around wherever a rebar was coming and intersecting the elevator opening. So the rebar is done. That went quick. It goes quick when you don't have to bend the rebar. It was all, yeah, it was all straight pieces. Had to cut a few, but that's no big deal. When they're straight, they go in pretty quick. So back to the forms. That's all that we have to do, and we only have 3 sides left to do on the forms. Man, this is kind of weird. So I'm looking at my camera. We have a new camera, by the way, and I'm looking at a little screen. See, now I'm looking at you. Now I'm looking at the screen. So if it looks like I'm looking somewhere else, it's because I'm watching me on this little screen. I just noticed that. It looks kind of funny. It looks like I'm just watching my back or something. Anyway, okay, forms. That's all that's left, guys. And then the concrete comes. Now I'm looking over. Oh, no, I'm over here. I gotta focus. I can't focus. Okay, let's get these forms done.
Good.
Other than a few odds and ends that I need to get buttoned up still, we're ready for concrete. We'll see you guys in a week.